Kia ora and welcome. Graham Smith from ALEC here to introduce your Literacy and Numeracy professional development. This presentation takes you through some of the things you need to know about this training. You may wish to refer to your study guide or assessment guide for further information. If you're watching this presentation, it's because you're involved with Literacy and Numeracy professional development in the form of the National Certificate in Adult Literacy and Numeracy Education. Vocational workplace. And we just shorten this to the NCALNE VOC. It's still a bit of a mouthful, I realize, but I'm here to give you a brief breakdown of what the qualification is all about. First though, just a couple of things to set the scene. We use this whakatauki or proverb as a kind of guiding principle for our training. You might be keen to have a go at translating it yourself. There's various interpretations, but here are two that we've used in English to help our own understanding of what we do and what this course is about. Mā te huruhuru te manu rere. Without feathers, a bird can't fly. That's kind of a literal translation, and for us that means that with the right support and resources you will succeed. So we like to think about that right at the beginning of the course. Okay, this is our brand. This is what drives us as an organization, and we love training that's simple and solves problems for people. So most of all though, we think our training is transformative, and we know that if you let it happen, this training can change the way you do things. So more on that in a little while as well. This one here, another guiding principle for us. We love training that's smart. Each of these letters stands for something, and perhaps you've seen this before somewhere. Do you know what SMART stands for? Good teaching and learning is always specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And this is also the brand we use for our intensive literacy and numeracy program based in Taupo. Here's another brand you might see on some of our material. We're convinced that literacy and numeracy teaching is something that needs to be spread, and we love our resources, and this is our latest project, literacyandnumeracypro.com, and we're looking at creating and making available via the internet resources that help you have great conversations about literacy and numeracy. So some of the things will eventually be available for sale, others will be available for free download. So it might help you as well if you know that ALEC stands for Adult Literacy Education and Consulting. We're a niche provider of adult literacy and numeracy professional development. We're based in Taupo, New Zealand, and this training is our business. We work with a small but talented training team to deliver this professional development. And in addition to myself, the ALEC team has included Janet Hogan, Ginny Denny, Rodney Young, Damon Witten, plus help from Aroha Pukitapu and others. If this is your first taste of the NCALNE VOC, you might be wondering what you're in for. Fair enough, we'll give you a breakdown of the content shortly, but here are a couple of things you are probably in for. One of these is probably some animated conversations with your workmates and friends, and a chance to really think about some of the issues that affect what you do in your job and life. Hard work? Yes, there will be some work to do. If you've got a few reservations about the training, or if you're still not sure what you're in for, we'd like to advise you to do the following. Keep an open mind, be a participant, not a spectator, get involved in some of the discussions, do some reading, use the resources in the study pack, and more on those in another presentation. Okay, so here it is again, the National Certificate in Adult Literacy and Numeracy Education. It's a level 5 certificate, it's worth 40 credits. There's one compulsory unit standard, which is Unit Standard 21204, and 10 elective credits to go with it. Normally the elective credits are already chosen by the time you start training, and this is just to suit how we are tailoring the delivery to the needs of the individuals and the organizations that we work with. What's this? We like to put this slide up just to remind managers and others that on its own the NCALNE VOC is not a silver bullet, but it should be part of a larger training strategy to address the needs of your tutors, trainers, learners, and organisation as a whole. We recommend that you develop your own profile of what professional professional qualifications your tutors should have. Our suggestion is that the NCALNE Voc goes nicely together with the National Certificate in Adult Ed and Training, where the Adult Ed and Training course focuses on you as a trainer or a tutor or a coach. This qualification focuses more on your learners. So the bottom line is the two work really well together. So worth having a think about, what's the big picture for training for your organisation? Okay, quick question to consider. What's your training context? And just a quick plug here in case you're wondering. This embedded approach that we talk about for literacy and numeracy works in a wide range of different contexts, including private training establishments, otherwise known as PTEs, wānanga, specific Māori contexts, industry training organisations, institutes of technology and polytechs, and we've worked directly with industry and private companies as well as government training organisations. Recently we've worked with the New Zealand Police Force and electricity supply, retail, building construction, carpentry, transport, logistics, hairdressing, civil construction, engineering, even things like journalism, nursing, employment skills, beauty therapy, and some others. It also works in a few places you might not have considered, including inside the prison education system, particularly for prison trades instructors. And we're very proud of our work with Corrections Inmate Employment, otherwise known as CIE, since 2010, embedding literacy and numeracy into trades and vocational training inside the prison system. We've also worked with the New Zealand Defence Forces, who, by the way, have some really interesting trades that we don't usually get to hear about or work with, like working with explosives, for example. So keep an open mind, but not so open that your brains fall out. Don't make assumptions about your learners. That's one of the things we'll try and drill into you through this training, and we'll try to do the same with you, not to make too many assumptions. However, because we've been doing this training since the qualification became available, since 2007, over the years we've worked with a really wide range of people and organisations, so we do have some starting points in terms of how we're pitching this training to you. And we know that most of you, or many of you, are tutors, industry trainers, workplace tutors, people who often provide on-the-job and often non-traditional kinds of training. And we know you're hands-on kinds of people. So you're the kind of people who have become tutors and trainers often through non-academic ways and means. For example, it's your experience and knowledge that's often got you where you are now. So possibly you might not even identify yourself as an educator. Maybe your identity is more around your trade, but you also wouldn't be here if you weren't a good tutor or trainer. So we recognize that you're probably a practical person who prefers a practical approach to training and applying what you know rather than just looking at abstract theories and approaches. So we're all about the practical. We need to find out a bit more about you. Who are you? Where you come from? What's your background? What are you embedding literacy and numeracy into? Why are you doing this? So there'll be an opportunity for you to communicate that information back to us through the course. Another starting point for us is that getting qualified in this field is all about ensuring that you have the right tools for the job. So in this case, it's about the tools for embedding literacy and numeracy into your training, and these tools include teaching approaches and strategies for dealing with the literacy and numeracy demands of your work or training context. There's something else that I need to talk about. We're not here to tell you how to do your jobs, whether that's police work or education. What we do know is every tradesperson, every teacher has some kind of toolbox. So what we've got for you is a set of tools for your education toolboxes. Here's some other toolboxes. People have different kinds of toolboxes, so it doesn't matter what trade you're in, you can probably use this as a way of understanding what we're trying to do here. And you can use these tools to do your jobs better, to work smarter and be more effective. Another starting point for us is that getting qualified in this field is all about ensuring that not only do you have the right tools for this job, but that you've got, as part of that, you've got a approaches and strategies for dealing with the literacy and numeracy demands of your work in your context. So we really think it's not rocket science. Obviously there's some work to do, but it's practical and something that you can really get your teeth into. So this course is all about making the process of focusing on literacy and numeracy more explicit, more self-conscious, planned, deliberate and systematic. And we'll give you a framework for embedding literacy and numeracy so that shift happens. So what is it? This is a type of train the trainer course. As I've said, it's designed to give you the tools for your teaching and training toolbox. It's also a bit like getting a set of coloured glasses that you can use to look at your training and resources with. And the idea here is that you'll look at what you do with new eyes, with an increased awareness of literacy and numeracy issues and how to deal with them effectively. What can you expect? You can expect 7 assessment tasks, different kinds of assessments, and we'll go into more detail on those as we go through the other presentations. Here's the NCALNE VOC in a nutshell, and this is a slide that we'll refer to many times through the training. We use it as a quick kind of heads up so you can see where we are in relation to the content, and you can see that we're looking at 7 different areas here, and these are the 7 basic areas required by the unit standards and the qualification. They are the New Zealand context, Māori literacy numeracy, mapping using the learning progressions, diagnostic assessment, embedding literacy numeracy into your delivery, measuring and assessing learner progress, and then evaluation of what you're doing. So pretty much everything we do in the NCALNE training, we'll pin it to one of these 7 areas. Everybody's going to bring different experiences and knowledge to this training. In the assessment guide there's an at a glance page where you can have a look at the different components and how they all fit together. And if you've got any questions, please give us a call, send us an email, send me a text, and we're happy to talk through any of these things. Thanks very much.